You are listening to Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back to another new episode of the Digging In Podcast with Rooted Wealth Advisors. I'm your host, John Savarino, and a very special guest, as we always have, but this time it is Roan. Don't call me Roan Cannon. Roan, how are we doing here this morning?
Doing great, John. I'm doing great. I will say I didn't know I'd be filming this today, but I'm glad I am. You know, I was actually watching some of it last night, so It's pretty cool stuff.
Okay, good, man. It's funny because every single person that I've had on this morning
Didn't know they were
coming, and as I've told everyone previously, you can't let people know because I want genuine
reactions.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want you rehearsing what you're going to say, how you're going to answer this or that, or what you're even going to wear. We want to know what people are wearing. And you've been the best dressed guest we've had all morning. So always looking sharp, man. We're genuinely super excited to have you on here. As I typically start these getting to know, you, just tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. What's been your path to this day with Rooted Wealth Advisors? Start as far back as you want to.
One day there was black, and the next I was born. No, I'm kidding. No, I was a personal trainer, and still am. I do that at night at a local gym. But I really got into fitness. I was about 16. It was my first job I ever got, and I just went down that path. And it did lead me here. A friend of a client kind of mentioned to Zach, our owner, was like, hey, give this kid a shot, maybe give him an interview. And here we are a few months later. I've been here 3 months now, and I'm loving every second of it.
Really?
So it's great. Yeah.
One thing we were talking about is how many phone calls you take in a day. I asked Jason Teal that question, and his number was pretty high. So I thought, if your number is that high,
he's over-exaggerating. He's absolutely.
I like it. Tell him how it's straight. So let's elaborate a little bit further on that path, because I get a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, but let's go a little bit deeper in that, because I don't even really know.
Fair enough.
I know it's your fiance. Is that correct?
Correct.
So let's keep going with that.
So yeah, well, to call her friend of a friend is kind of funny, but no. So
it's like, wait a second.
So the initial connection comes from mutual friend Peggy, who happened to be one of my clients.
No way.
Yes, yeah. So
I had no idea.
There you go. There it is. So she actually, Jenna and Zach were talking to her about how they needed some help around the house. And that's where Chloe got brought up in the conversation and where my name was first dropped. So Chloe became their nanny, helping out with the kids. And I got to be pretty close to the family in that way. And then kind of a few months later, they were looking for some help. And Peggy just goes, I got one more for you. She's like, Rowan. She's like, check them out. And then Michael, our chief culture officer, reached out to me and said, hey, how about tomorrow for an interview? And so I got interviewed on Monday, and I started 2 Mondays later, and I had no idea I'd be getting an interview that Sunday. So it was a quick turnaround for sure.
Wow. Okay. So I'm glad you elaborate a little bit further, because I had no idea.
Yeah, like, how did this guy end up here?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I saw it on the calendar, Rowan. I'm like, who's this Rowan guy? And someone was like, yeah, they're actually interviewing him. I'm like, okay. Then I see his first day in 2 weeks, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second.
Moving quick.
But man, like, you blew my expectations away ever since you started. I genuinely, like, what we do is extremely important from a planning perspective. But I genuinely think you have one of the most, if not the most difficult position here at this firm. So I just kudos to you, because you've exceeded my expectations. All the advisors were a little diva, like here and then. So I think just to be able to handle that, is one in its own. And past that, just the way that you connect with people, specifically clients, like I'll have someone come in, for a visit, and they're like, oh, is that Rowan? I just really like him. Or, Rowan this, Rowan that. And I'm like, I'm tired of hearing about Rowan. Just kidding. But it's been incredible the way that you've been able to connect with people in such a short amount of time. So like where that goes from here, I think is super, super exciting. So Obviously, you're still new to the firm, but just tell the viewers a little bit more about your role and what the day-to-day looks like.
Yeah. So, client relationship manager is the title of my role. I would say the easiest way to explain to someone that may not be in the world of what we do would be kind of a front desk person, secretary-esque type, but it's a lot more than that on the below the surface. So essentially, you're talking about fielding however many, like we were saying. I'm thinking it's about probably 50 to 60 calls a day. Could be more, could be less. Trying to maintain the energy with every single call to maintain the relationship with the client while also getting them where they need to go. So, sometimes you may not know where they need to go when they first call you and they're very vague with their answers, but by talking to them, asking them a few questions, you can usually figure out who they need to talk to. So that's a big part of it. Another way we further the relationship with our clients would be our client gifting, handwritten letters. Now, for any of you that have gotten any of my handwritten notes, I'm trying, okay? There's literally a penmanship book at my desk. I kid you not. I work on it. But I do write all the letters. I write them all. Some are quicker than others if I have to write out however many, because, people have birthdays and graduations. And so anyway, we like to just know that if you come in for a visit, we're listening. And if there's a travel thing coming up, if there's a retirement coming up, you may be getting something, because we're always taking note and sending stuff out when we can. So
yeah, we want to make it special. Those significant events, whether it's in our lives. I think it's one of the neat things that the firm does is just really celebrating the team's wins, whether that be professionally or personally, and that goes a long way.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, always.
I was going to say one thing that really surprised me when I got here about the firm is the freedom they gave me with which to get gifts. They said, we want the gifts to be special. Don't go get something cheap and tacky. They're like, here's the card, spend the money on it. We want it to be specific to you, and just, you're not just going to be like, oh, I got this other little gift bag, like something that you'd really remember about us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And we want it to go to good use and be meaningful, and to be special, to celebrate those big wins. For those clients. Tell me, kind of shift gears here a little bit. That way we're not throwing you too far on the bus. What do you like to do outside of all the different hats you wear here at Root Wealth Advisors?
So meaning outside of work?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I love the gym, obviously. Work out 5-6 days a week, have for probably 5 years straight at this point. I'm pretty focused on nutrition. It's not a hobby. It's more of a curse, kind of, because you kind of understand. Once you understand what's going into your body, you kind of like, oh, I got to be more careful about what I'm eating.
Okay.
Golf. I love golf.
Do you really? I didn't know that.
I got really, really into golf over the past year and a half.
Okay.
I even got my brother hooked on it so much that he joined his high school team out of nowhere just because he likes it. But I'm not that good at it. I've been playing a year, and I will say, work is work. And before, when my personal training schedule was a little iffy, of maybe certain days are off, certain days I'm in, and I was able to practice a lot more. So now when I go out on the weekends, I notice without as much practice, I'm getting significantly worse. Golf and the gym, that's pretty much my two things. I love film. That's every guy says that now. I like cinematography, film, but I do appreciate it, and I'm always looking forward to some of the next stuff that's coming up. But yeah, that's pretty
interesting. Film, gym, golf, gotcha. And then
what else do you need, really?
So you and Chloe are engaged,
correct?
But you don't spend time with her outside of work.
No, I do. We're attached to the hip. She's it's funny. I said to her last night, I was like, so we're really gonna spend every day together for the rest of our lives. I was like, this is it. But no, she's my best friend. But yeah, no, hang out with her every night. Obviously, she's in college at the moment. She's in like 24 credit hours of school, which is actually not allowed at one school. So she has to take a full schedule at one school, and then extra online classes, because she transferred from a school up north, and not all of those credits transferred. So to make sure she doesn't have to graduate a year later, she's putting it on.
24 this semester.
This semester, yes, correct.
Oh my, is she Wonder Woman?
Kind of, yeah. She works as well, obviously. So
what?
It's kind of
I didn't know that.
And she's in nursing school. So it's all medical terminology, microbiology, anatomy and physiology. Like, it's all that, the hardest science ones all in a row, and I'm clueless. So yeah.
Wow, good for her. So she's the better half.
She is.
Absolutely. Just teasing, yeah. Speaking of, health, fitness, we're going to be discussing that a little bit further on our next episode of Digging In. So make sure you catch that episode. I think that will be really fun, just to dig in a lot deeper. Anything else you want to tell our viewers on this episode in particular?
Other than come stop by and check out the new office, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, come check it out. Say hi to Rowan right up front. First one you will see when you walk into our Bourbonnais, Illinois office. Now, if you want to chat a little bit further with Rowan, maybe learn more about what we do here at Rooted Wealth Advisors, give our office a call. It's going to be 866-766-8332. You will get a free copy of our guide, The 5 Worlds of Retirement. Specifically explore 5 financial spheres critical to confidently living the retirement of your dreams. Once again, the phone number is 866-766-8332. And as always, we'll dig in soon.
This was Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.